Hello, eavesdroppers. Welcome back to another pop culture tarot reading. I hope you all are feeling like $1,000,000. On today's episode, we are looking at Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Cathy White, the reading that changes everything. So we're going to be looking into the tragic story of Cathy White. She has remained one of the most enigmatic and heavily debated subjects in pop culture. So in this deep dive tarot session, we will step into the spiritual realm to look past the headlines, analyze the heavy energy surrounding her life, and explore the unanswered questions about her premature passing. For years, rumors have circulated about Cathy's alleged relationship with Jay-Z, the intense dynamics behind closed doors, and the whispers regarding Beyonce's knowledge of the situation. Was there a coordinated effort to keep her quiet? Or does her narrative hide an even deeper mystery? So we're going to look into Miss Cathy White, see what the cards have to say. Everything I say in this reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. I have no proof, so take it with a grain of salt. All right, so we're going to start with the energy surrounding her passing, her premature passing. I believe she was only in her 20s. She was pregnant when she passed away. And so we just want to see what does she have to say about her passing. All right, so we have two peas in a pod. Number 11, she's pointing out a soul partnership, resonance, true love, a mirror match, and blessings in a life mate. But it's showing up as someone who was devoted from a divine to a karmic masculine. And interestingly enough, I actually did a reading on Blue Cane Trout. That same card came out for how she felt about Jay-Z. So this makes me feel like he could be a love bomber, allegedly. He may be the kind of person that gives you a lot of reassurance that he's really interested in you, shower you with a lot of attention. She felt like he was a divine masculine, but he turned out to be karmic. She thought this relationship was a soul partnership. And it cost her, allegedly. We have digital love. You're vibing through the screens, but don't romanticize a connection that hasn't been tested in real life. So she's saying, look, I jumped the gun. I thought this was my soulmate. I thought this was my partner, but maybe they met online. They could have met through social media or some kind of digital platform. And then she's pointing out that there was a separation. There was withdrawal. Time to herself. She felt antisocial, or she felt like he was being antisocial. She was enjoying peace and quiet. She was avoiding him. She felt lost, like she had lost contact or control or communication, and she took her power back from the distorted masculine. She said there's a short memory here. There was forgiveness, adaptability, and she's pointing out a mutable sign. He is a mutable sign. A Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. He's a Sagittarius. She felt like he was young, driven, but an undisciplined person. And she said that, you know, he had the mindset that he quickly forgets you. He loves you and leaves you. So she decided to let him go. She felt like he did not care about her. She wanted personal space, the Four of Swords. I'm wondering if she was on bed rest. That is a card of hospitalization. It can be also a card of not feeling well. And they are saying that she passed away from an aneurysm. So this Four of Swords could be that she was contemplating leaving him if she had not. She could have been also trying to recover from heartbreak. Yeah, it says she was in tears. That answered my question. And she's pointing out something about the second quarter, maybe of that year. April, May, or June is significant. Don't know why she's pointing that out. So when I move on to how she feels about him, the cards that come out are hush up. He says silence, discretion, contemplation, equanimity, consideration, and privacy. He felt like this was a private affair. She's saying that he was an energy vampire. Okay, this man on the card is drinking BLOOD. This came off of Brandy as well. I did a reading for Brandy as well. So he's saying this was sucking all her life force, sucking her energy. I don't know if she's seen him do something like this or not, but she's saying he was telling her to be quiet about this. Keep this quiet. No one needs to know. But then spilled tea is here. Gossip is currency and someone just cashed in. When the tea is this hot, you better believe it's being passed around. Word was starting to get out about the connection. And I feel like this could have posed a problem, an issue for him. He wanted to keep it on the low. All right, so the next card is the Queen of Wands, Mars in Aries. And she's singing as someone that was admired by many people. She felt like he was warm, he was loving, he was popular. She loved that he was an limelight, he was social, he had an alpha personality, he was friendly, he was her confidant. She felt like he lived out loud and he was bold and he was a natural-born leader who inspired her. She looked up to him. He taught her how to accept herself. She felt like he did not judge her. Okay, but then we have the card here. What really happened? The Ace of Swords. Discovery, information, epiphany, truth revealed. The truth came out. And we're going to get to Beyonce in a moment. I feel like this was a matter of this secret got out. It went from being a private affair to everyone knowing about it, and that's when the relationship changed. She's also pointing out here, that's Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini energy. She's also pointing out here an unknown STD status. Now, this came out for Brandy as well, who is also one of Jay-Z's exes. Okay, so we have reckless, SEX, never gets checkups, burning and unaware, spreading disease knowingly and or unknowingly, using protection is what is recommended here because there is a risk gambling with your health and being irresponsible. She saw him as sexually undisciplined. She's finding out that they went through a few seasons here. Maybe they dealt with each other for up to a year. She's finding out the 4 seasons. And she said that they have weathered some storms and there was trial and error in their relationship. But they were figuring things out, though the relationship was being tried, tested, and true. And she's pointing out ups and downs and the seasons changing and the emotional ebbs and flows. Also, there's karma associated with this card, so there were karmic cycles, karmic partnerships, but she felt like they were fated to meet. She felt like he was a part of her destiny. Ultimately, he sealed her fate, allegedly. All right, so she's seeing him as a victim of circumstance. She sees him as someone who suffers in silence. He feels like circumstances are outside of his control or he has some kind of victim mentality. This could also be the feeling that he felt stuck in his marriage. 8 of Swords can sometimes be the feeling of being stuck. Jupiter in Gemini. I feel like he was telling her he could not leave. He could not leave. He wasn't under his own power. He had to play the game because his relationship, it fits the industry standard. And then she's pointing out some attempts here. I feel like maybe she's saying that he was attempting to be with her. He made an attempt to be with her, but he was never going to leave his marriage for her. And she started to realize that, and this is why she ended up in tears. Now let's look at how she feels about Beyonce. And she's pointing out a really sweet disposition with Beyonce, but she's saying it's fraudulent. We have sweet as a Georgia peach. She's pointing out kind as tender care, charm, beauty, flirtation, and a delicious experience, number 38. And that does make me wonder if she was aware, were they ever involved with one another? Don't know. Okay, something about Georgia could be significant. All right, we have the nice guy here, but I feel like this is the nice guy trope. She's saying Beyonce is someone who maybe was swept up in Jay-Z's allure, his charm in the beginning when she was still alive. That was pretty early in their relationship, and she could be saying here, well, you think he's the nice guy, you think he's sweet as a Georgia peach, but I know him. I know him, or I know you, by virtue of what he tells me about you behind your back. Okay, we have the twin flame. So she sees Beyonce as Jay-Z's twin flame. They are your counterpart in growth, healing, and divine purpose, and this is why it feels so intense. So she felt that they were in a twin flame connection. And she's finding out stoicism here. Aquarius energy, Mercury in Aquarius. She said that this is about facts over feelings. This makes me feel Beyonce was aware. King of Swords knows what's going on. Very logical, but it's facts over feelings. Maybe she felt like Beyonce stayed in this relationship because of the status that they had, but she was completely aware of her. But you know, what you do when I'm not around is none of my business. Just don't disrespect me in my face. We have a door here. So getting the ball rolling, we have the 8 of Swords. Okay, this is Mercury in Sagittarius. So this feels like this came out for Blue Cantrell as well. She feels like Beyonce is a person who kind of came in, kicked the door down, became the standard of entertainment here. She's not showing me anything about how she feels regarding her relationship with Jay-Z and how it affected Beyonce, except we have the King of Swords going down into the Queen of Swords reverse. Again, this makes me feel like she sees Beyonce as someone who is not using common sense. She feels like she has repressed memories and emotions. She feels like she has an unhealed heart and she's bitter. And she's suppressing painful memories and feelings. And she has a hidden agenda and motives. This is Libra energy. So she feels like Beyonce knows but will never say anything. She feels like Beyonce is a pick-me. She feels like Beyonce has no intention on leaving Jay-Z. I was even channeling a song, one of Beyonce's old songs, and she talks about, I think this was pretty early on in her solo career, she actually said she would never leave him. I think it was Speechless. The song Speechless, and she said she would never leave him. But I can't think of the lyrics to the song the precise lyrics to the song, but there was a portion of that song where she was singing and she was saying, I'm not going to ever leave you. Like, I'm going to stay here. Okay, so she's also pointing out a masculine who views you, a masculine who views his female counterparts in a very skewed way. He sees women as nothing more than placeholders and a means to an end, and he's likely DL or bisexual. He's into both genders, he's misogynist, he's sexist, he has a gambling problem. Also, distorted religious beliefs. Okay, now, I don't know what that means. She's saying that he's into dazzling girls. I don't know what she was privy to. This is all alleged, okay? But this is what she's pointing out here. So I feel like she's saying Beyonce is aware of everything that he does, but she pushes it to the back. It's facts over feelings. I can't focus on that. I have to focus on this relationship that we have, this power couple dynamic that we have. All right, so let's look at how she feels posthumously. What does she want to come out of people investigating, looking into this rabbit hole regarding her death? And she's pointing out here that there's more than one way to skin a cat. Number 13, that is the death card. Scorpio energy. She said there's going to be a breakthrough, a solution, originality, receptivity, and faith. So she's holding out hope. She's still wanting there to be some resolve to this situation. She's showing up here as someone who's holding boundaries and not giving up her power. She's in a protective bubble here, and there's a masculine on the outside trying to make his way in, but he can't touch her. She says, I'm in a spirit realm now. And I wonder if she had a cat. If she had a cat, her cat witnessed this. Not that the cat will be able to tell us anything, but she's also pointing out the power couple. I just said that. She said that these two amplify each other's gifts and elevate each other's goals. They are building more than a relationship. They are building an empire, and that is Jay-Z and Beyonce. She says, look, they don't care anything about what happened to me. The next card is the prominent family, the Ten of Pentacles. That's the power couple. She said that they are blue bloods, they are 1%ers, they are very affluent people, they have millionaire status, they have generational wealth. She sees them as the haves, the old money, and some people here with she sees them as a couple with long-term success. She's also pointing out, though, law enforcement. Maybe there's an investigation going on. She's pointing out a domestic dispute, calling the cops, an emergency, legal issues, court dates, protective order, run-ins with the law, a career path, or an authority figure here. They could be an Aries, a Libra, a Scorpio, or a Cancer person that's significant, as she's pointing out. I feel like she's saying the prominent family has law enforcement in their back pocket. Yeah, she said they're passing the buck. She said nobody has been held to account. The judgment card reversed. They're placing blame on me. They're saying it was an aneurysm. Well, look into that. Maybe it wasn't an aneurysm. Maybe this was misjudged. She said they're refusing to take accountability, they are using diversion tactics and playing the blame game. And she said there was a clash of the titans here. There was an ego collision, a major blow-up that happened, an intense argument between two strong-willed people, a standoff, and a stalemate. And the last card that she's showing us here regarding her death is, if you know, you know. She said it's an inside joke. Seeing eye to eye, understanding, intuition, no explanation needed. Camaraderie, knows his deep knowing, sixth sense, and gut feeling. She's saying everybody is on the right path. You all know what happened to me, but they're too powerful to take down. They're too well connected. Beyonce being connected to that royal family. That's the Ten of Pentacles. She feels like she will never get justice, but she wants to get justice, obviously. She's seeing Beyonce as an ice queen. And she's saying here that Beyonce was aware of the relationship allegedly. And Beyonce told her, no harm, no foul. As long as I'm not disrespected publicly, I don't care what he does when he's not around me. And that sounds insane, but that's what's showing up here. She's pointing out a relationship of bondage, feeling like he was stuck in that relationship. Again, going back to the Eight of Swords. I feel like he was telling Beyonce. She may have even surprised them, caught them. But there was something very cold and detached about her. But she's saying that Jay-Z was crying on her shoulder. The man here is crying. He's all chained up. He's all tied up. Also, she could be pointing out she wants him to be locked up, or maybe both of them. The couple, the people in a relationship, should be in bondage. There could be something that comes out because we have surprise. There could be surprise information. She's also pointing out if that ain't truth, then the grits ain't groceries. Believe it, trustworthiness, watch for signs, intuition, lucidity, and the real deal. She's saying you all are on the right path here. Keep digging, keep searching. We have swinging on the front porch. This is good times, cozy feelings, slow down, be in nature, and thankfulness. And she's pointing out a woman here playing an instrument that could be Beyonce, drinking too much, blowing off steam, rebellion, merriment, overindulgence, and escape. Okay. She says, riddle me this, riddle me that. Talking in circles, manipulation and mind games. She felt like she was manipulated, and she stood her ground here with the Seven of Wands. She was fearless, audacious, bold, brave. She felt like she stood her ground. She fought from her corner. She did what she believed was right. She created boundaries between her and Jay-Z. Because of the mind games, she said that someone was radicalized, overzealous, an incel, extremist, intolerant. This person has a way, a my way or the highway attitude, brainwash, a cult mentality that could be their fan bases, under mind control, pushed to the brink of insanity. I feel like she's saying these people get away with this, on the front end, but when it comes around on the backside of it, there's always a price to pay, which is what I touched on in the Brandy reading I did. These contracts, they don't last. She said, get it from the horse's mouth. Go to the source. Don't rely on secondhand information, word of mouth, or hearsay. Okay, so she's saying only trust what you know firsthand and can prove. It's not what you know, is what you can prove, a confession or admission. So she's saying, look, they're still alive to tell their stories. I'm not alive to tell my stories. I'm speaking through these cards. She's pointing out highly weird. Some kind of flagrant violation against her. Someone brazen, bold, audacious, immoral. Somebody that defies the rules or decency. And this is the Hierophant reverse, which could also be a cheating spouse. Somebody breaking the covenant of their marriage. She's saying that there was scandal here. There was indecency, disgraceful energy. Something offensive happened. It feels like she possibly, in her last moments, could have been arguing with someone, trying to stand her ground. And this person was so radicalized that they went to extremes. And she's saying they're covering this up. They're never going to tell the truth. The only way you would really know the truth is for them to tell. Got the last part of this from the horse's mouth says a confession or admission. Let's get some tarot. I'm sorry, I have a few more oracle cards. We have a karmic return. She says every action, every silence, every intention, it's all recorded in energy. And energy always seeks balance. She said, you don't get away with this. There's consequences. The next card shows someone behind bars. It says no more running. The karma is catching up and someone is being held accountable. So she's saying, look, whether this is spiritual court, spiritual jail, or physically, you're going to pay for this. She says someone is behind the scenes pulling the strings. It's not what you know, it's who you can control. Well, wow, this other card said it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And this one says it's not what you know. What you know is who you can control. Someone is orchestrating the situation to make sure they stay on top. Jay-Z and Beyonce, allegedly. There's a masculine energy here. She's pointing out she was the third wheel. She was a side character. She was trying to write herself into the main plot, but this story already has a leading duo. So she was iced out. She felt like the lone wolf. She was left by herself. She was standing in her own truth, even though she was standing alone. And it's showing the last card here is the third party card. There's someone else in this energy field, and their presence is creating distance, doubt, and distortion. So it does feel like there was pushback on Beyonce's part, but she acted like she didn't care towards Cathy. She cared. She told Jay-Z to cut her off. We're going to get some tarot and ask some specific questions about this pregnancy and everything that happened here. Okay, so let's look into the tarot. All right, Cathy White. Why did your relationship with Jay-Z end? Why did your affair allegedly end with Jay-Z? Okay, she said there was a fight. There were some arguments. And again, she's showing up as the Four of Swords trying to heal her broken heart. Okay, and then the Queen of Pentacles could be her being pregnant. That's fertility. Could also be the Queen of Pentacles is Beyonce. So let's clarify. The Five of Swords is Venus and Aquarius. You also have Jupiter and Libra, and you have Capricorn energy here. Okay, so Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Yeah, she said she was kicked out. Five of Pentacles here. She was left out in the cold to fend for herself. Just like she could have been financially cut off. She could have been emotionally cut off. Feels like this really did a number on her. She felt like she was just kind of abruptly iced out with the Five of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. Feels like an argument, a fight, a blow-up happened. And she was just the one that was left to slaughter. What's the Four of Swords? Okay, we have the Two of Pentacles reversed. And we have the Nine of Wands in the upright. Moon in Sagittarius and Jupiter in Capricorn. Okay, so she felt like this really disoriented her. This really, it made her feel very destabilized. But she did have a fighting spirit, and she also could have done this to protect herself. She could have known she was dealing with threats, and she decided to, take precaution here. Someone alerted her that she was in danger. And she knew she was on her own. She was the last one standing. She knew no one else would come to her defense. She got some bad news. She was restless. She was having trouble sleeping. Now, that's not uncommon for a pregnant woman, but it just feels like there was something on her mind with the Four of Swords here. She felt like she bit off more than she could chew, and it got so much bigger than her that it physically started to weigh on her. So there was some energy of being territorial here, needing to protect her territory. The Four of Swords just gives me where you lay your head. Did someone come into your home? Because she was found in her home. Maybe that's why we have door here with Beyonce. Did someone come into your home, allegedly? She's saying yes, the Seven of Wands is in reverse. Yes, the Seven of Wands is unprotected energy. That's a compromised security system. Being at a disadvantage. Feeling timid, feeling shame. Not able to protect yourself or take action. Also, this is health problems, so we do want to, make sure we point that out, that this could very well be. Did you have an aneurysm? Let's see. Did you have an aneurysm? No, she said she was strong. Yeah, the Strength card and the Ace of Cups. Now, these are yeses on their face. However, the Ace of Cups and the Strength card lets me know that she was feeling good. Strength card is perfect health. She said, no, I had high energy. I had vitality. I was still physically moving around. She was a fitness trainer. She's like, no, I was in very good health. There was nothing wrong with my health. So what's up with the aneurysm? Did they make this up? Okay, yeah, we have the King of Wands. That's Jay-Z. And then the Page of Pentacles. The younger Earth sign is Beyonce. She's saying there was money exchanging hands with this powerful man here, this fire sign. And then the younger Earth sign could be Beyonce. That could be money exchanging hands with this powerful masculine energy. Wow. These are two cards, too, showing me good health. So she was not in bad health. But there was some kind of plan here. There was a plan. Who's responsible for your passing? Okay, she's pointing out money. Money exchanging hands here with the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. Someone who was not physically there. They paid someone to do it. And it was premeditated with this Three of Wands. Aries energy towards Virgo and Capricorn. Now, we have fire and we have earth. We keep getting fire and earth. She said this was money exchanging hands. But this was from a distance. So nobody's hands got dirty here. Of the two of them, if they are involved, they didn't do this themselves. Yeah, she was being watched. Page of Swords, the Six of Wands, especially on social media. It will be interesting to know what was going on her social media. Did she shut something down? Because she feels like she was being watched online. She was very defensive in her final days. Okay, Cathy. When it comes to the pregnancy, was Jay-Z the father of your baby? Allegedly. We got Sagittarius energy with a big yes, the Eight of Wands. Mercury in Sagittarius. What else? We have the Lovers. That's a yes. And we have the Queen of Wands, which is fertility, pregnancy, energy, and that is a yes. She's saying he was allegedly the father of her baby. We have the Star. And we have the Knight of Cups. We have all yeses. Wow. Yeah, she was optimistic and hopeful that he was her person, but he was not her person because he was already in a connection. He was already married. The lovers need a choice between two, being torn between lovers sometimes. Okay. Cathy, what do you want to say posthumously? What do you want to have happen? She gets the Ten of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Three of Cups. She wants the truth to come out about this relationship that they had. She's saying that she's disappointed. Again, she thought he was her person, and she wishes she had chosen differently. She feels disappointed because of the breakup, because of regret or self-blame. She could be blaming herself. Betrayal in love. Fear of separation or feeling abandoned and divorced here. I feel like he may have been lying to her, telling her he was going to leave Beyonce, allegedly. But she felt very stabbed in the back here. She feels like, this is humiliating for me. I was just about to embark upon something really beautiful in my life. I feel like she could have even met someone. There could have been someone else that she had started to consider or may have even been dating alongside Jay-Z. I mean, he was a married man, so she could have very well had another person in her energy that she felt like she wanted to build something with. And she feels like she missed this opportunity for life, you know. She feels like she was sidetracked by wishful thinking. You know, having on rose-colored glasses, seeing what she wanted to see. So it does feel like there was some kind of offer made to her, an invitation. And it feels like she was caught off guard with this Ten of Swords. That talks about being stabbed in the back. That talks about somebody catching you off guard. You don't even see it coming. But it feels like she's saying it was quick. Whatever happened to her was quick. And she didn't suffer long. She could have also abruptly cut him off, and maybe he didn't take it very well. Yeah, because we have the Judgment card here with the Four of Pentacles, which could be the feeling like she was his possession. Scorpio and Capricorn energy. Okay, I believe Cathy was a Cancer. Anything else you want to say? Specifically about Beyonce. I'm going to know what you felt with Beyonce. Said the Four of Cups. Jay-Z was bored with Beyonce. I felt like he was talking to Cathy like pillow talking with her. She's also saying she sees Beyonce as silent, distracted, down, depressed, tired, withdrawn, isolated from society, apathetic, separated. She could even be saying they were in separation at the time. Show me one. Okay, Magician. So that's Gemini and Virgo energy. Beyonce is a Virgo. She sees her as super talented. But she felt like that was not enough to keep her husband home, is what she's saying. Yeah, the King of Swords is here and the Knight of Wands. And this is Jay-Z, the Knight of Wands. Again, that King of Swords feels like more of a connection that they have for practical reasons. It's pragmatic energy. So again, she said Beyonce was aware of me, and she knew her husband was a Rolling Stone, the Knight of Wands. She knew he was non-committal. She knew he came back and forth between the two of us and maybe other people as well. Page of Cups, the Empress. That's the pregnancy, the pregnant woman, and the Six of Pentacles. I feel like were they both pregnant at the same time? Yeah, pregnancy here with the Sun as well. I need to know. Yeah, she passed in 2011. Wasn't that around the time that Blue Ivy was born? I gotta look this up. Okay, y'all, let's look this up. Okay, y'all, this is getting interesting. Blue Ivy was born January the 7th, 2012. Cathy White passed September 1st, 2011. How many months apart is that? 4 months apart. This is probably why there's so much speculation that Blue Ivy is actually Cathy White's baby. Let's see. Let's look at that. Because I do see pregnancy here, and I'm just wondering. I'm asking about Beyonce. Is she saying that Beyonce got pregnant because she was pregnant? Or did they take the baby? Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. This is all fun and games. Nothing serious. Let's look at these cards and see what Cathy has to say about Blue Ivy possibly being her baby. It was very close. They were either pregnant at the same time by the same man, if in fact he was the baby's daddy. Well, there could be something about this urban legend that's accurate. All right, Cathy. When it comes to Blue Ivy, was she your baby? First card we have is the Death card. It says no. Okay, let's see. You have the Two of Pentacles, which is maybe. Yes. Yes, maybe leaning towards yes. There's like a swap happened here. Did she lose a baby and then took yours in place of it? Is that what you're saying? She said there was sadness here, there was disappointment here. There was disappointment within that marriage, disappointment within that household. The Four of Wands reversed. She felt unwelcome. She felt like she was, Four of Wands in reverse is animosity and tension, usually in a marriage. An unstable marriage talks of divorce, breakup. This is what I'm saying. Were they in separation when she possibly could have conceived this baby? That is very possible. But she's very sad when she thinks about it. She's looking at her death and saying it made her sad. Did your baby leave here with you? Queen of Cups energy, that's the mother. She says yes. Okay, show me more. Cancer energy, I believe she was a Cancer. Okay, she's in the Eight of Swords. There's something about her being tied up. Somebody was tied up here. This is the second time I've seen cards of bondage, being tied up. Saying she was blindfolded, she was unable to move, she was in isolation. Did they take this baby? Because now we have a no. Saying that the baby did not leave with her, she was tied up. Oh, allegedly. Okay, she's pointing out a Virgo person here. From a distance, creating a tower moment. Now, I will say the tower can be aneurysms. It can represent strokes, aneurysms, and things of that nature. But that doesn't mean that could not have happened and still the baby was snatched. It's a combination of yeses and nos here. But the Six of Swords, it feels like she had to leave her baby behind. Six of Swords is about leaving something behind. And this tower feels like maybe, I don't know, she could have had some kind of blunt force trauma or something to the head because it feels like something caught her off guard and is showing up as a Virgo person. We know who the Virgo is. That's Beyonce. This Knight of Pentacles talks about meticulous, methodical movements. Feels like something was very strategic here. Is Blue Ivy your child? Ace of Cups, she says yes. The Emperor in reverse. That's issues with the baby daddy. That's a weak husband, a weak masculine. Feels like Beyonce is the one. Everyone thinks that Jay-Z controls Beyonce. I think she's the one with the control. Is manipulation here? Show me more. Okay, yeah, the Ten of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. She's saying there were many people involved in this. And again, she's showing up as the third wheel, the third party. Ten of Wands. I do feel like that could possibly have been something going on with her health. Maybe suddenly, though. Like, it would have happened suddenly, and it could have been an aneurysm. We can't 100% rule that out. But I see people meeting up, exchanging resources. This distorted masculine energy is whom she pointed out Jay-Z was. He went from the divine masculine to a karmic masculine. That's the Emperor in reverse. That's the baby daddy. She's saying he wasn't the one who thought of this. He just played along. I feel like he fought against it, but he played along eventually. Is Beyonce the one who calls the shots? She says, yes, the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. She's showing me doing something from afar. There's money that exchanges hands, allegedly. I don't know if they have a henchman, a hitman, somebody that does these things for them. Could even be a group of people, but I'm seeing money exchange hands. And it's like, the back is turned here. Like, I'm not going to touch it. I don't even want to see what happens, but just go handle it. Aries, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Beyonce is a Virgo. Okay, Cathy, what else do you want to say before I let you go? Okay, she's pointing out here that she felt sabotaged, the Ten of Swords. She felt like she was suffering. She's pointing out this rock bottom, the end of the relationship. Being betrayed, though, feeling very much like something came from behind. The Ten of Swords is about being snuck from behind. You didn't see something coming. And it's when someone else betrays you. This is not self-inflicted at all. She said that this was, this can represent a fatal disease or a bad health condition. But it talks about going down. It talks about loss and misery. Show me more Gemini energy. It's interesting. This card is actually showing me a Virgo symbol, even though it's supposed to be Gemini. They have the Temperance card in reverse. This is the my way or the highway attitude, Sagittarius energy. Okay, so she's saying they're both allegedly, their hands are in this. She's saying that someone was fanatic, there was overstrain and craving and pressure and overreaction, discord, too much obsession, impatient, volatility, moody, inconsistent, fragility, and hesitant. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Chariot, which is warfare. This feels covered up. This feels like it's been covered up to protect this Empress, which feels like it could be Beyonce. She said they'll take these secrets to the grave with them. They are not going to ever confess about this. They will deny ever even knowing me. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's where we will leave it. Be sure to like the video. Subscribe if you have not subscribed to my channel. Leave a comment if you choose. I will see you in my next video.